Hey there, and welcome to today's Explainer. We are going to tackle a massive frustration that I know almost every single Instagram creator has felt at some point. Look, you're putting in the work, right? You're posting consistently, you're editing your clips for hours, you're really trying to do everything perfectly. But you're staring at a view count that just absolutely refuses to budge. It's almost like it's actively mocking you. It is incredibly demoralizing to put your heart into a reel just to watch it stall out at a few hundred views with absolutely zero explanation as to why. Well, today, we're going to completely flip the script on how you evaluate your content. We're diving deep into an incredibly insightful guide detailing a secret professionals use called the Retention Drop Fix Loop. So let's just start with the huge question that keeps creators up at night. Why just some reels flop while others absolutely fly? And I want to validate a major pain point for you right here. You've probably tried it all. You've hopped on trending audio, you've completely overhauled your hashtag strategy, you've experimented with posting at 8 a.m. instead of 3 p.m. Heck, you might have even copied a viral format beat for beat. And yet, your reels still stall out at the exact same spot. It's maddening, because sure, sometimes one of those random changes kinda works, but usually it doesn't. And worse, you have absolutely no idea which change actually made the difference. Now, the source material we're looking at reveals a brilliant secret that separates the amateurs from the absolute professionals. The creators who are breaking out and getting tens of millions of views, they aren't just crossing their fingers and hoping the algorithm decides to bless them today. Nope, they operate by a harsh but very true rule. Guessing is not a strategy. It is a plateau with extra steps. Seriously, if you're just changing random variables, like swapping the audio, tweaking the caption, or changing the thumbnail without a real feedback loop, you are practically guaranteeing yourself a permanent plateau. You're just throwing spaghetti at the wall in the pitch dark. And this right here brilliantly illustrates exactly where most of us go wrong. We all obsess over the view count. We constantly refresh the app to check it. But the view count is just an outcome metric. It only tells you what happened after the reel was already posted. It tells you literally nothing about why it happened. But when you shift your focus to the retention graph, that is the real game changer. This is your diagnostic metric. It tells you exactly why a reel failed. It'll tell you if the problem was your opening line or if it was just some boring visual dragging at second 8. Without the retention graph, every single adjustment you make is just a blind guess. Let's define this clearly because honestly, it's the secret weapon of this entire system. The retention graph is a line chart buried way down inside your Instagram insights. The horizontal axis is the timeline of your reel, and the vertical axis is the exact percentage of viewers still watching at each passing second. Now, a lot of creators have never even scrolled down far enough to see it, and the few who do, well, they usually just look at it, see the line going down, get totally depressed, and close the app. They treat it like a bad report card. But professionals, they do not treat this as a report card. They use it as a highly precise targeting system. So the absolute crucial point is this. The exact second that line drops steeply on your graph is the exact second you need to intervene. That drop isn't just some random algorithmic glitch. It is a massive, glaring signal directly from your audience saying, hey, I got bored right here. The algorithm isn't punishing you at all. Human attention simply decayed at that specific timestamp. If your viewers are bailing at second 6, no amount of trending audio is going to fix it. You have to literally go to second 6 and fix the problem. Okay, so let's dive into this loop. The Retention Drop Fix Loop is a repeatable 17-step system that replaces all of your guesswork with hard data. First, you find your exact drop-off second. Second, you run a diagnostic to see if you have an editing problem or a script problem. Third, you build and insert a targeted hook right before they leave. And finally, you differentiate the asset and repost it. It is absolutely brilliant because it turns every failing reel into a diagnostic data point instead of a dead end. Now, step 2 is where you save yourself literally weeks of wasted effort. You absolutely must diagnose whether you have an edit problem or a script problem. This one distinction determines your entire fix path. If it's just an editing problem, you just need to insert a hook at the drop-off point to hold their attention. But if it's a script problem, the core concept is flawed and you need a complete rewrite. Listen, applying an editing fix to a script problem is the single most expensive mistake in content creation. This system gives you a worksheet to definitively confirm the verdict before you even touch a single edit. So let's say you diagnose an edit problem. You need a hook.
The guide outlines this massive hook template library broken down into 5 distinct categories: visual, verbal, musical, question, and action. And what's so cool about this is that it includes 15 fill-in-the-blank templates with niche-specific examples. You will never again sit there staring at a blank screen on CapCut wondering what on earth to insert. You just grab a template, build the rehook for the exact timestamp your graph showed you, and patch the hole in your retention bucket. Now, I know exactly what some of you are thinking right now. Wait, if I fix the video and re-upload it, isn't Instagram going to suppress it as duplicate content? And you know what? Yes, if you do it wrong, they totally will. If you just re-upload a slightly tweaked video, the algorithm spots it instantly and shows it to basically nobody. But the drop fix loop includes a pre-shoot differentiation checklist. It tells you exactly what 3 mandatory categories you must change, things like your appearance, your environment, and specific lines of dialogue, to clear the platform's duplicate content filter. You differentiate, you delete the original, and you repost cleanly. Problem solved. If you're sitting there wondering if this highly systematic approach actually works in the real world, let me anchor this strategy with some absolutely undeniable, documented proof. According to the source data, the author of this exact method used it to produce over 100 million views in just 2 months on a real Instagram account. We are talking about 2 individual reels that generated over 50 million and 45 million views respectively, pulling in tens of thousands of new followers. This is not some theoretical fluff. This is a data-driven iteration loop that has been field-tested at the highest possible levels. And what is truly fascinating is the math behind those views. To get 100 million views, you need incredible watch time. Across over 48 million total plays, the average watch time was a sustained 16 seconds. And yeah, skeptics actually tried to challenge this, but the math holds up perfectly. 614 million seconds of total watch time divided by the initial plays equals a verified 16-second average. And that includes almost 10 million replays. This proves that the system doesn't just get views, it creates genuine rewatch behavior, not just mindless passive scrolling. But it's not just the original author seeing these numbers. Check out this secondary proof from other creators who stopped guessing, applied this exact loop, and saw immediate breakout growth. We've got a creator who produced 2 viral reels, hitting over 1 million views and 5,000 followers in just 30 days. Another hit 55 million views in a single month and qualified for the Instagram bonus program. A third reported massive spikes in both views and followers. These are organic, real-world reports from people who simply stopped treating their retention graph like a bad report card and started actually intervening. But let's directly tackle the deepest fear you probably have before diving into a system like this. You're probably thinking, okay, but what if I do all this work, I follow the steps, I diagnose the graph, I insert the perfect hooks, and the reel still doesn't get views? It's a totally valid question. The fear of putting in the work and still being stuck is huge. But the answer to this is structural. The system doesn't just pat you on the back with empty reassurances. See, if a reel still fails, it is never a dead end. The system has built-in escalation routes. If the editing fix fails, boom, you trigger the script rewrite protocol, a 5-element framework to rebuild it from the ground up. If things get really weird, there's a comprehensive troubleshooting section documenting 16 specific failure modes reported in the field, complete with root cause diagnoses. And finally, if a concept just absolutely won't work, there is a 3-iteration kill criterion worksheet. It tells you exactly when to cleanly retire the idea, capture your learnings, and move on without wasting any more time. Every single branch has the documented next action. And for those of you thinking, yeah, but my account is different, let's clear that up right now. This works even if you post faceless content like screen recordings or voiceovers. You just lean on the visual, musical, or question hooks. It works even if your view counts are currently super low because it teaches you how to read the curve directionally while you build up your data. It works for creators outside the US too, and it works even if you aren't in a major niche like finance or fitness. Why? Because this entire loop is based on universal human attention mechanics, not just some trendy content conventions that'll die out next month. Adopting this system offers an incredible emotional transformation for creators. Just think about this for a second. Never again will you post a reel and have absolutely no idea why it died. Never again will you blindly change the audio, the hashtag, the caption, and the thumbnail, just hoping one of them is the magic bullet. And never again will you waste an entire iteration trying to fix an editing problem when you actually had a script problem all along. You are finally replacing hope with laser-focused precision. So all of this immense practical value is packed into an incredibly detailed 85 to 100-page PDF guide. It hands you the complete 17-step retention drop fix loop from start to finish. You get the one-page fillable edit versus script diagnostic worksheet to save you time. You get the full library of 15 hook templates with a timestamp calculator. You even get a 12-column spreadsheet called the Reel Iteration Tracker to literally log every reel, every fix, and every result, creating a permanent operational record of your growth. It is literally everything you need to execute this strategy flawlessly. And the price point for this entire comprehensive system, it's just $47. Not $147, not $297. For literally the cost of a simple dinner out, you are getting a verified framework documented to produce 100 million views. Think about it. If this system helps just a single reel break through where it previously plateaued, it has paid for itself many, many times over. If it saves you from wasting weeks trying to edit a fundamentally broken script, the value is simply infinite. It stops wasted iterations forever.
So consider this your official invitation to step out of the dark and into the data. You can download the full PDF guide instantly today and start diagnosing your failing reels right this second. Look, you already know how to post. You already know how to edit. What you are missing is the diagnostic layer that turns failure into a specific, highly actionable next step. Get the complete system today and completely change how you approach your entire content strategy.
I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Every single reel you post without a feedback loop is either a lucky guess or it's a completely wasted iteration. So what's it going to be? Is your next reel going to be just another amateur guess in the dark, hoping the algorithm likes you today? Or are you ready to become a professional, actually use your retention graph and turn your next reel into a powerful, profitable data point? The choice is entirely yours. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I highly encourage you to check out The Loop.